The long wait for the NFL season has ended. We have just completed week one, and I have also sent the power rankings into the group chat. Hope you guys take a look at it. Some cool stuff. I wanted to add something into the league along with longer videos as well. I'm here with my trusty brown bag of bogeys. Always got to have them. Number one, they're the best. 75 cents a pop. Can't beat it. I'm going to go right into the power rankings. So basically this takes into effect the draft as well as week one results as well as week one points that you scored, and also takes into effect the rest of your season rankings. So my rest of season rankings was number 10 because I don't have David Johnson, so that dropped me big time. I think my power rank would be way higher if I had David Johnson still. But Tass is number one. He's been there since the beginning. It's going to be hard to dethrone him. He's got a very solid team. He drafted extremely well. He's extremely deep. I see guys on his bench that could be guys second and third wide receivers and even running backs. Tass, you got it made right now. You stay healthy. You're going to be definitely in the playoffs. I like your team a lot. Lawrence jumps up 6 spots after giving Pete an ass kicking. Catholic ass kicking, I like to call it. He jumps up 6 spots. He was in 8th place. Now he's in 2nd for the power rankings. I'm in 3rd. I jumped up 1 spot. I was 4th. Losing David Johnson really sucks. He's going to be out 2 to 3 months. Maybe they're hoping for him to come back week 14. I just heard Bruce Arians say, we're hoping to have him back by Christmas Eve against the Giants, of course. Christmas Eve is, I think, week 16 or week 17. So I probably have no use for him anymore. I got Buckets texting me about B.J. Goodson. B.J. Goodson is good, okay? He's a good son. He had a lot of tackles because Ezekiel is an unbelievable running back and gets to the second level all the time. So no defensive lineman at tackles. Just B.J. Goodson's just racking up tackles. I like him still. He's a decent player. Clemson guy. Wonder is in 4th place in her power ranking. Jumped up 1 spot. Wonder had a very decent game. He would have lost to 5 other teams. He would have went 4-5 if he would have played all the teams. Really didn't like his week. He got pretty lucky with Jack's really bad week. Jack only wound up scoring 126 points, and Wonder is the king of points against because he's always in the top of points against. No one scores points against him. He's the best fantasy defense I've ever seen in my life. He's always in the top half. People just don't score against him. I don't know what it is. I think he shists all these teams and he puts on a voodoo curse, one of those Shalom Alaikum curses that he likes to put on teams. He's put it on my team. He put it on David Johnson. I know he did. Bastard Wonder. Stop fucking with my team already. Salami is in 5th, dropping down 2 spots. Salami had a solid week. He would have wound up beating 6 teams. He would have went 6-3. I don't know why the hell it dropped him down 2 spots. I like his team still. Gordo's in 7th. Only dropped him down 1 spot. The rest of season rankings, they rank Gordo number 1. I have no clue. He scored the least amount of points. He went 0-9 against the rest of the league. I don't know what the rankings are saying, but they're seeing something. So, Gordo, you got hope, kid. Mashi, 8th. He drops, he goes up 2 spots. He was 10th. Andrew Luck might be out a little while longer. They're saying several weeks. I'm getting nervous with him. It looks like Zeke avoided the suspension. They're still fucking around with the injunction. I don't know what's going on. I think he's not going to get suspended this year. I think it's going to be next year. So you're not going to be able to keep him because he's going to. Well, you could, but still, he's going to get suspended 6 games next year. Buckets is in 9th. He would have went 1-8 across the league. He drops down 2 spots. Yeah, the formula really didn't like Buckets' team this week. They really shit on him. And then Dom. 10th place, dropped down 1 spot. They hate Dom's team. I don't know why. His wide receivers are pretty good, and he just picked up a bunch of guys, a booty load of guys. Speaking of pickups, I want to talk about the pickups this week. Mashi with the number 1 waiver claim takes Tariq Cohen. Yes, that Tariq Cohen, the little midget bastard. He had a really good first game, but he's still behind Jordan Howard, believe it or not. I think they're going to wind up working him in with Jordan Howard because he's more. Sorry, I had to do something with the lighting. It got dark out of nowhere. I don't know what the fuck happened. But Tariq Cohen, yeah, I think they're going to wind up using Tariq Cohen and Jordan Howard on the field at the same time. Cohen looks like a real good PPR back. I like him as a running back too. He's going to be more towards the bottom of the running back too, but he's definitely serviceable. If Howard winds up getting injured, Cohen could jump up into the higher half of running back two, maybe a low end running back one, but definitely going to catch passes. That guy, I really like him to catch passes. I didn't like the number one waiver claim. It always happens. There's so many overreactions. Guys get picked up left or right. I know that, but you got it. You had to use it. You took a solid running back too. I had him on my claim. I couldn't get him because I was like the 10th guy. Dom took Jonathan Stewart, who I kicked off my team because I figured Christian McCaffrey was going to slowly and steadily take some of his carries. Jay Stu was only on the field for like 30 snaps. McCaffrey was on the field for like 50. I think it's going to be like that all year. Jay Stu might get some of those goal line carries and a lot of short yardage situations. So I can't see him scoring consistently more than 15 points a game. It's very hard to do when you're not on the field. D takes my handcuff. Kerwin Williams, X now, X how, X Kerwin Williams. Not huge on him. I don't think any running back on the Cardinals is going to be a value right now. There's just too many. We don't know who's going to be used where. But yeah, Kerwin Williams is probably the next guy up. So we're going to see what's going to happen in that situation. Then Dom went on a waiver claiming rampage, as I like to call it. He just kept hitting waiver claim. He probably had all these guys, Tariq Cohen and Kerwin Williams on waivers. He waiver claimed Rashad Jones and Kenny Golladay, who I'm really surprised nobody picked up after his 2-touchdown effort. And then I woke up very early, like I always do on Wednesday. It's my favorite thing to do. And I just pick and choose everyone's zigs, and I zag. I get Buck Allen. I get Cooper Kupp. I somehow got Danny Amendola back. I got Giorgio Talvecchio, the best Italian kicker in all of football. And I'm liking my team all of a sudden. I mean, I know I'm missing DJ. He's going to be out a long time. It's okay. What we have to do, we just have to find someone to replace him. And I think Kareem Hunt can replace him. Then I need someone to replace Kareem Hunt. So I thought Kareem Hunt was going to be a running back 2. Now he's a running back 1 in everyone's book, so we could put that down. And I think I could replace him with the guys like Jacquizz Rodgers, Buck Allen, Rex Burkhead. I mean, all I need is 10 to 12 points. That's all I need. I don't need monster games from these guys. I just need a little bit. Yeah, so interesting first week. There really wasn't any huge fantasy winners besides Kareem Hunt and Alex Smith and Tyreek Hill, which all happened in one game on Thursday. Sunday was like the most boring week 1 I've ever seen in fantasy, I think. But yeah, let's get into it. Let's talk about our first matchup here. We got Jack and Wonder. The low ball fantasy matchup of the week. What a bad game it was. And Jack is led by his team. His team's name is Brady and the Jets. And Brady looked like Booty in the Jets. My man Tom Brady, last in the NFL in completion percentage. Never thought I would see that. I don't care how many weeks it is, and how many passes it is. He could be 0 for 1 and he still wouldn't be in last. But right now, at this moment, Tom Brady is in last place in completion percentage for the year. And he looked old on Thursday. Very old. Very old. He's like 40 years old now, Jack. His 2 quarterbacks really didn't link up. I mean, Big Ben went for 20 points. Solid week, but Big Ben is horrible on the road. That's probably one of the best games he's had on the road in a few years. He's a completely different quarterback at home than on the road. He wound up with 20.9 points. Brady wound up with 11.9 points, so only 32 points from his 2 quarterbacks. Jack really didn't expect that to happen. I think he was number 1 in quarterback rankings preseason. Can't be having that. Brady got to step it up. Brady got to look young again. Drink that fountain of youth. Liked LaShawn a lot going into the year. He finishes with 23.9 points. Solid week. RB1. Yeah, he played against the Jets, and people are going to feast on the Jets. They don't have a really good defense. They don't have a really good offense. Everyone is going to be startable against them. There's going to be third wide receivers on teams that are going to be flex plays because the Jets are so bad. There's going to be backup running backs who are flex plays because the Jets are so bad. He had the Crow go for 10.6 points. That's the bottom end of what the Crow is going to do every single game. Crow, I think, is going to be between 10 and 20 every game. He's a solid running back. He's a solid NFL running back. The Browns were somehow in that game. He had a good game. Duke Johnson was out of the slot. He really didn't take any running back touches from him. So Crowell looked like the running back one on that team. Even in passing situations, Crowell was in there, and Duke Johnson was lining up in the slot. So I like Crowell a lot for the rest of the year. A little underperforming in Ted Ginn Jr. Don't like that start at all. He's more of a deep threat long ball option. I know Drew Brees has had that in the past with a few guys. I don't think he's that good of a player, Ted Ginn. I mean, he's old. I think he's not as fast as he once was. And yeah, they're the Saints. The Saints, I mean, they're going to air it out. Of course, you know that, but I don't know. I just don't. I can't really trust Ted Ginn Jr. to be my third wideout. I think there are a few better options on the wire, options that were already picked up. Then you had a really disappointing effort in Jamison Crowder. I don't know what the hell happened in that game. They should have been throwing left or right. Kirk Cousins didn't look too good. Wonder, on the other hand, he had a pretty good game. He would have went 4-5. He was led by Matty Ice Ryan, former last year's MVP. He actually, you look at his final line in 321 and a touchdown, and you don't realize that the one touchdown that he had was an 89-yard broken play touchdown to Austin Hooper. And you take that away, and he has, I don't know, say he doesn't get the 300 yards. He doesn't get the touchdown. That's 9 points right there. Plus the yards, that's 10 points. That was a huge play. That won Wonder the matchup, I think. A very big play, Wonder. Joe Flacco, he looked horrible. The Ravens as a whole, they didn't throw. They were running the ball because they were up so much. The Bengals looked really bad, on the other hand. But Flacco I think he threw like 17, let me see. I think he threw 17 times, if I'm not mistaken. And he completed, 11 of them? You can't score points if you're only throwing the ball 17 times in fantasy. They ran a ton. They had about, I think, 40 rushing attempts because they were up the entire game. But I expect Flacco to bounce back. Usually the Ravens were trailing a lot last year, and Flacco was pretty decent because he was always throwing. I don't think they're going to be trailing as much, considering that defense looked really good against the Bengals. They shut everyone down. Christian McCaffrey, decent game. He put up the Danny Woodhead game that I expected him to put up. He had, 5 catches, 38 yards receiving, and 47 yards rushing. But he did fumble. Rookies fumble, that's what they do. 10.5 points, Wonder. Not bad. RB2. Bottom end on RB2, running back 3. Can't be having that. Amir Abdullah was your other running back. He's horrible. The Lions don't run the ball. They're just going to sling it. Matty Stafford is just going to sling. I don't see any running back being successful there besides Theo Riddick, who's going to catch passes. I think Riddick finishes higher than Abdullah. Dez Bryant shut down. Janoris Jenkins, the Jackrabbit, was unbelievable against Dez. Dez had 9-10 targets, and he only caught 2 passes. That's saying a lot. I think Dez's kryptonite is Janoris Jenkins, to be honest with you, because the last 3 games he has about 4 catches, no touchdowns, and 65 yards. He gets shut down by Janoris a lot. Keenan Allen, there's your guy, Wonder, 5 for 35 and a touchdown against the no-fly zone defense, and that no-fly zone defense is good, but he wound up having a decent game. He finished as the 16th best wide receiver 2. People are drafting him as wide receivers 3s. I don't know why, but yeah, he's your wide receiver 2. Jordan Matthews, not that good of a game. 2 catches, 61 yards. The Bills were up. They were running. They gave it to LaShawn. You can't do anything else but that when you're playing the Jets. Zach Ertz, everyone's fantasy sleeper, 8 for 93. My bull Zach Ertz, 17.3 points, 8 catches, 93 yards. Very solid game. Ty Montgomery's going to be your new running back. Got to find a flex spot for you. Oh, yeah, you got Odell. So, I forgot. Odell's going to be in your flex. That's what you have. Ty Montgomery was a really, really good game. Another guy that helped you win the week. But, he just did decent in my opinion. I mean, you take away the touchdown, he winds up with 13 points. He wound up with 19.3 points. Solid week for a running back. Wound up, I think, as the 9th best running back, so RB1. Don't see him as an RB1 the rest of the year. And if he is, he's going to be at the bottom end of that. He's just not going to run a lot. So that's going to cap him off a little bit. He's going to have to catch a lot of passes, and he's going to have to gain a lot of yards catching passes. And it's very hard to go over 100 yards as a running back unless you break off a big play. So London, nice win. 1-0. Welcome to the club. Next matchup. Country Club Cooks versus the Devil's Advocate. D, the man right now. With Drew Brees and Dak Prescott. 41 total points from his quarterbacks. Nice solid week. Brees looked good against a good defense. Just missed the point bonus for yards. That sucks. It's okay, though. He finished with 20 points. Dak with 21.3. I mean, the Giants were lost. They were winded the entire game. Their offense couldn't do anything, and their defense suffered because we couldn't stop a fucking nosebleed. They gave up over 400 yards because they were on the field not the entire game. I mean, you can't really help it. The defense, I'll tell you one thing. It definitely bended, but it didn't break, which is really good, and it's something that the Giants have been for a long time. Bend, don't break. We can't stop the fucking Cowboys. I don't know what the hell we're gonna do. I hate that they have those two guys there. Dak runs, Elliott runs, and you can't fucking stop them. Jordan Howard, 15.6 points, nice solid game. He finishes at the back end of running back once. A little nervous there with Tariq Cohen coming in. I think they're gonna give him a little bit more touches, but Jordan Howard should still be good. Sucks that you had to waste a high draft pick on him, knowing that Tariq Cohen is probably going to wind up getting more touches, but it's okay. It's fine. C.J. Anderson, 81 yards rushing. Would have been great in a standard league. He only wound up with 9.8 points in our league. Kind of sucks in the PPR. You wound up with 81 yards, and it's kind of all for moot because you really didn't do much. You only had a catch for 7 yards after that, but he had a solid game. He looked pretty good. He was running with purpose. I think he's the running back to own there. Jamal Charles really didn't look good. He fumbled. Yeah, I think C.J. Anderson is the guy there, so I like that pick. Cooks had a really good game. If you weren't watching fantasy-wise, if you were just watching as a Patriot fan, he drew a few long defensive pass interference calls. He also wound up with 3 catches for 88 yards. He comes down with one of those catches. He goes over 100. He's fine. I'm loading up as a low-end wide receiver 1, high upside wide receiver 2. Love him a lot. Devontae Adams really shut down. I mean, the whole offense was shut down for the most part besides Ty Montgomery. Jordy Nelson had a pretty good game as well. Tyreek Hill, I hated him, but that motherfucker could run, bro. He is fast. He's the only player in the NFL to have 5 consecutive games of a 65-yard play. Not a 65-yard touchdown, a 65-yard play. But all those plays actually went for touchdowns. Actually, no, it was a 60-yard play. I'm sorry. But all those plays went for touchdowns. He's good. He opens up the entire offense. Is that offense going to be good? What the hell did I see? They played the Patriots, and they absolutely shit on them, scoring 42 points. They were running shovel passes. They look like a college offense. Kelsey caught 3 shovel passes. I'm like, what am I watching here? I've never seen so many shovel passes. And like D was saying, they're going to run that shovel pass a lot because you have Tyreek Hill, who is a burner, and he opens up the entire field that everything in the middle of the field is going to be wide open. So Kelsey in the middle, Kareem Hunt in the middle. I'm liking it. Thank you, D, for the insight. Tyler Eifert, he didn't have that good of a game. He's boom or bust. I'm shaky on him. A few years ago, he was really good. He caught like 15 touchdowns, and now he's just like a shell of himself. Yeah, Martavis Bryant, shit the bed, 3.4 points. Petey Buckets, what do you got? Oh, Le'Veon Bell with cock-a-doo-doo. 7.7 points. Not even startable at this point. Nah. But, yeah, Le'Veon had a bad game. The Browns really bottled him up. I never thought I would say that, but they did. He was in line for 30 touches. They were like, "Oh, he's the short shot running back one for the week. He's gonna touch the ball 30 times." And what does he do? He shits the bed with 7.7 points. Has a horrible game, and this is fantasy. This is what we have to deal with, people. It's a horrible, horrible, horrible way to live, but we have to deal with this. Sorry about that. Rudely interrupted by my brother. Rudely. Yeah. So I just got finished talking with Le'Veon. Gurley had a pretty decent game. That Rams offense looked good against the shitty Colts. They're horrible, the Colts. They might be the worst team in the NFL behind the Jets. They're really bad. No one else really performed on your team. It's really tricky to say what's going on. Jared Goff, who you called, Pete, you picked him up after the draft. You did call it. He looked really good. He looked like he took a major step forward. I want to see it happen week to week. He still has tough defenses in that division. He's got to play the Seahawks twice still. He's got to play the Cardinals twice. Cardinals have a good defense, but the Seahawks. I want to see what he does against the Seahawks. I don't know if you're going to start him against the Seahawks. Cam looked really inaccurate. Still wound up with a decent game with 18.9 points, but all your wide receivers really underperformed. I'm expecting your wide receivers to come out with a fury. The only thing is Chris Hogan really was not implemented in that offense at all. How people thought he was. He was the wide receiver, and he wasn't in the slot that much. Amendola was in the slot, and once Amendola got hurt, the whole offense shit the bed. The offense looked good with Amendola on the field. We're gonna see if he's gonna play this week. Next matchup we got. Oh, let's do mine. My team came out with punches on Thursday night. I wound up with 47.6 points by Kareem Hunt. He's the best player in fantasy right now. Anyone wants him, you're not getting him. I don't know what's going to happen with my team without David Johnson. They're saying 2 to 3 months. It was a horrible, horrible injury, dislocated wrist. Really hoping for a speedy recovery just for the kid's sake. He's got to get paid. I want him to get paid. Yeah, my entire team went off. I plug and pop Trevor Siemian in there because I was missing Winston. He wound up with 26 points. I fucking picked him up as fast as I could drop him because I dropped him like it's hot this morning. My wides had good games. 3 touchdowns for my 3 wides. Actually, 4 touchdowns for my 4 wides. Hopkins, Tate, Diggs, Macklin all going over 13 points. Hopkins was getting targeted a ton by Deshaun Watson. First half, Tom Savage comes in, does horrible. I don't know what Bill O'Brien is doing. This is like his 9th quarterback. How could you have Tom Savage be your starting quarterback at the beginning of the year, knowing that you're going to not give him a leash, as me and Jack were talking about? You don't give this guy a leash. You take him out after a half, and then you put Deshaun Watson as the starting quarterback for week 2 already. That's a really bad call by Bill O'Brien. He might get fired this year. You got to know what you have. I mean, how don't you know what you have after training camp? But yeah, I like Hopkins now with Watson throwing the ball. Watson was looking at him a lot. He threw him a touchdown in that second half of that game. Garbage time, but still, it's a touchdown. I wound up with negative points out of my kicker and 0 points for my defense, and I still wound up throwing over 200 points up. It's going to be hard replacing David Johnson, don't get me wrong, but if I have these guys performing like they are now, Golden Tate, 10 for 107, he was working out of the slot exclusively. I think he had about 85% of his plays out of the slot. That's really where he likes to be. He doesn't like being on the ends of the field. Working in the slot, you got Galladay on the left side, Marvin Jones on the right side. Marvin Jones didn't look that good because he had Patrick Peterson on him. I give him that. But Golden Tate in the slot, he was coming across the middle, caught a lot of passes, gained a lot of yards. I'm really liking his rest of the season projections for him. He looks really good. And then Stefan Diggs, amazing game. 7 catches, 93 yards, 2 touchdowns. Didn't even have the best game. Sam Bradford looked really good. Thielen on the other end of the field had a really good game too. Yeah, really like my team in the first week. I'm really nervous with David Johnson. But, I think I'll be fine. I drafted really deep. I picked up a few guys. So I'm really not too scared yet. Yet. Just gotta stay healthy now. I can only afford maybe one more injury. I get another injury to my running back. I gotta start making trades then. Dom, a lot of guys underperformed. His 2 quarterbacks only wound up with 16 points. Horrible week for Eli. He really looked really bad. The whole offense looked bad without Odell. I think that dude Odell just got paid after that game because they see how much he is to that offense. He adds a whole nother dimension to that offense. I'm just nervous with the Giants, man. They really scared me week 1. I really didn't expect them to have that bad of a game. DeMarco, they went down, the Titans. He really wasn't rushing the ball. He wound up with 8 points. Lamar Miller, 11.6 points. Another guy. They were down. You can't run the ball when you're down. Then your high score was Delaney Walker. Oh, no, Dalvin Cook. That's what I want to talk about. Dalvin Cook looked really good. He holds the rookie rushing record for total yards in his first game for the Vikings, and he surpasses Adrian Peterson. He had, $127. Solid game from the rookie. He looked really good. And he didn't even fumble. Imagine that. All these other rookie backs are fumbling. Jaguars with a monster game. I love them. I love their defense. Was really high on them. 29 points. They had 10 sacks. They were fucking all over the field. They killed Tom Savage. They killed Deshaun Watson. That defense is serious. And I like them, Dom. I like them a lot. That was a good pickup. And then we have Lynch Mob versus Marie-Anne Fournette. My man L4 with a monster game test. 24 points, 100 yards, gets the bonus. Big game. Matt Stafford, another big game. 36 points, 4 touchdowns. Huge in our league. All these touchdowns from the quarterbacks. You're going to see they're going to score a lot of points. Really impressed by Adam Thielen. Bradford looked really good. Thielen looked really good. I mean, you look at this guy's last 6-7 games. He has 300-yard games and a 200-yard game in there. Thielen might have just jumped up into wide receiver 2 territory, maybe wide receiver 1. I think him and Diggs are probably right around the same ranking. I like both of them week in, week out. Diggs might be more touchdowns. Thielen might get more catches. I like both of those players. I like that offense. They got a good offense. Dalvin Cook really opened things up for them. Tass, solid week. He was the second highest scorer. And he's the number 1 in power rankings. Tass, you got a good team. You're really deep. You got Bradford on your bench for 37.5 points. I don't know if you're going to start him. I don't know what you're going to do. You got Russell and Stafford. You're going to be in a pickle every week. Probably going to wind up benching the high scorer every week. But it's all right. Gosh, you could get away with that when your team's doing really good. Julio, 4 catches, 66 yards. That's the bottom of what he's going to do. We know that, guys. He's still a wide receiver 1. Fitz with a steady game, 6 catches, 74 yards. He's a Y2, we know that. He's steady. He's going to do that every game. Watkins, 5 catches, 58 yards. He surprised me a little bit. He's just got to stay healthy, man. If he stays healthy, he's a really good player. He's really fast, really quick, really shifty. Nice, solid player. Mark Ingram only had 17 yards rushing, but caught a lot of passes for 54 yards. 5 for 54, pretty good game. The Saints love to throw to their backs. We saw Alvin Kamara emerge. D picked him up, like that pickup. They're going to throw the ball to their backs. That's what they do. That's what Drew Brees does. Task, really solid week. Really like what your team brought to the table week 1. Really interested in seeing what L7 has. L4, I'm sorry, L7. L7's a weenie. L4 is Leonard Fournette. He had a really good game. I think they're going to give him the ball a lot with Allen Robinson hurt. And then we go to Gordo's team. He scored the least amount of points. Didn't have that good of a week. He was better off starting Jerry Giannini in his quarterback spot instead of Andy Dalton, who wound up with minus 8.8. That's a nightmare. You can't win a week if you have that. It's really hard. He had Carson Wentz. Gord, I know you like him a lot. 27 points, 300 yards, 2 touchdowns, an interception. He had a real good game. That offense looked pretty good with him leading the way. Melvin Gordon, 18.9 points. Solid running back numbers right there. Take that every week. I wish I could get that. And then Marshawn only with 10.2. See, another thing with standard leagues, he wound up with 76 yards. It sucks, He only had 2 catches, well, 1 catch for 16 yards. It sucks, I know, but he had a solid week in that offense. Brandon Marshall got absolutely shut down. I'm not liking him if Odell's not on the field. I can't stress that enough. The whole offense, especially. But yeah, Marshall had 1 catch for 10 yards, and he got that with about a minute left. So he was horrible. He basically got shut out. Antonio Brown, monster game. Didn't pop off a touchdown, but it doesn't matter. 11 catches, 182 yards. He's fucking Antonio Brown, man. He's the best. I love him to death. Then you had Danny Woodhead. You got Woodhead by him. He's going to be out 6 to 8 weeks. Pulled his hamstring. Guys are always fucking hurt. He gets hurt every week one. It seems like he can't stay on the field. And then you had Kevin White break his collarbone. So you're already down 2 guys right there. Two guys. You're gonna have to replace him with like Theo Riddick. I think he's a good running back too. But that flex spot is gonna be up in the air with you. Oh no, you got Jarvis. When I talk, see, I get screwed up with these whatchamacallit, the week 1 buys. Guys don't even start their best teams because they have these guys on the bench. So you got Jarvis sliding into Brandon Marshall spot probably actually, and then Theo Riddick maybe flexing. You got Deshaun Watson. I like Deshaun Watson a lot. I loved him in college. He's very, very, very solid player. He didn't do that good against the Jaguars. They came into a bad spot. They were down a lot of points going into the second half. He still popped off a touchdown, but he only wound up with like 5.5 points. He got sacked 4 times. That whole defense was swarming in all aspects of the game. Yeah, but Gord, you're going to have to make some moves, I think, with the injuries that are mounting. Let's see. And then the final matchup. Best matchup of the week. The closest matchup of the week. Salami versus Mash. Salami with a very solid week. He's got a solid team. Alex Smith threw up 44 points. I think that's the best game he's ever had in his entire career. 368 and 4 touchdowns. Not expecting that every week. But if that offense is good, you're gonna have to rely on Alex Smith throwing the ball. And he threw the ball really well. He hit Tyreek Hill on a bomb. Kareem Hunt took one to the house. A shovel pass here, shovel pass there. That offense looked good. If they keep doing what they're doing, Alex Smith is going to be a top 10 quarterback, and he's going to be a steal too. Rodgers with a decent game, 21.7 points to his standards. Faced a very tough defense. Wound up with over 300 yards though. They still had a pretty good game. I mean, you look at Aaron Rodgers, like he doesn't have the best offensive line, but he's still a good quarterback, and it scares me when you see the Giants. I think Eli's a good quarterback. They have a horrible offensive line, and they can't do anything. And Rodgers has a horrible offensive line, and he turns in a pretty good game, basically winning the game for them. You wound up with Devonta Freeman only going for 11.9 points. He got kind of shut down a little bit. It's going to be him and Tevin Coleman all day. They got a nice 1-2 punch. I'm still firing up as a running back one, Devonta Freeman, because his touchdown upside is tremendous. Carlos Hyde, decent game. I mean, they scored 3 points, but he wound up with 13.7. That's a pretty good game. Nice running back too. Ty, he's going to rely on Andrew Luck. If Andrew Luck is not back, if he sits out the year, Hilton's going to be a horrible draft pick. He's right now, I got him as a wide receiver 3 without Luck. With Luck, he's probably wide 1, wide 2 on the borderline, but without him, he's really not that good. Doug Baldwin, decent game, 10 points. Crabtree, another decent game, 6 for 83. He's the one who is... Him and Cooper are both like a solid 1-2. They're probably the best 1-2 in the league. I like Crabtree because he's probably going to score more touchdowns, maybe catch more passes, but they're both right there. You can pick your poison with either one. Yeah, and then Eric Decker in your flex spot. I don't think that's happening. Corey Davis looks like the number 2 there. Probably he might be the number 1. He made a few nice plays. I don't like Decker at all. I think you're gonna have to get him out of there. Probably replace him with a guy like Tyrell Williams. You really don't have too many guys though, Salami. Not no wide receivers. You got all these running backs. You got Mixon. You got Gore. You got White. You got Procise. You got Forte. You got all these running backs. You need wides. If you need a wide, I'm your guy. I got a bunch of them. I got a ton of them actually. I actually was going to pick up a guy. I picked up Cooper Kupp and I went to go drop someone, and they were like, "Nah, you got to drop a wide receiver because you have too many wides." So I was like, "Fuck it. See you later, Kendall Wright." Mashi, your team was pretty decent. You didn't have that bad of a week. You had a few underperformers in Robert Kelly and Adrian Peterson, who was bottled up, and I don't know if they're going to use him a lot out of the backfield. I'm not expecting him to be Adrian Peterson of old. He's probably like a running back 3 or 4 at this point. He's a backup running back on a team that passes a lot, and he doesn't catch passes. So what are we saying here? What's this guy going to do? If he pops off 12 touchdowns, which I definitely think he could, he might have value, but right now, after seeing that first game, I don't know if they're going to use him that much. I mean, you see him yelling at Sean Payton on the sideline saying, "Give him the rock," but they weren't giving him shit. 18 yards, that's it. Didn't even have a catch. Horrible in PPR standards for your running back to not have a catch. And another guy, Robert Kelly, only 30 yards, no catches. Ugh, what a bad game he had. I know they were down. They were throwing a lot more. They had Chris Thompson in there catching passes. He popped off a touchdown. Carson Palmer looked old. Another quarterback looking old. 3 interceptions. Horrible game. Only 10 points. Derek Carr leading your team 24 points. The Raiders look pretty good. Their offense looked really, really good. Their defense looked good. Raiders are going to be a good team this year. Ezekiel Elliott, fuck that suspension. That ain't happening. That's what he said. Rushed it. 104 yards. The Giants did pretty good against them. They really bottled them up. He only had, I think, like 85 yards going in. Oh, no, less than that. He had like 80 yards going into that final drive where he rushed for like 25 yards to put him into the bonus. He's the man. The Giants have one of the best rush defenses in the league, and Elliott still popped off for 100 yards. No touchdown, scoring 22 points is very hard to do. He's going to be really, really good. That was a really good pick in the beginning of the second round. And then Jordy Nelson, the White Shadow. That man could ball. Played a really good game, 7 for 79 against a really, really good defense in the Seahawks. I think he's going to finish it as a wide one, probably in the 5, 6, 7, 8 range. Really good wide receiver. Rodgers loves throwing to him. They were when they were rookies, they were throwing to. Rodgers was throwing to Nelson when he was backing up Brett Favre. Nelson was like the 5th or 6th wide receiver, so they have a really good rapport with each other. They know each other really well. They're probably best friends. They probably hang out on the weekends. They're probably really cool friends. And then you had the Rams defense, who monster game without their best defensive player, and 29 points, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks, fumble recovery, safety. Only gave up 9 points. Really, really, really good week. I'm expecting them not to do better, but their defense is going to get better with Aaron Donald in there. So guys, we had a really nice week 1. Nothing crazy, no big games really. Really liking the league. I kind of miss the other guys, but I'm going to do it for them this year. I'm going to win it for our ex-league mates. They got kicked out. They got the boot. Yeah, guys. Nice fucking week. See you week 2. Who do I got? I got D on the... Oh, D. This is going to be a good matchup. 2 versus 3 in the power rankings. D, I'm coming for you, D. You're going down. Later, guys.